So Elon Musk has this vision of the future, and it's not some far-off, distant dream. He believes we are right on the edge of a revolution that's going to change absolutely everything. We're talking just a few years away, not decades. So let's break down this shocking prophecy and see what he thinks is hiding just around the corner. Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, let's start with one of Musk's most jarring ideas, that in the world that's coming, the whole concept of saving money might be, well, pointless. I know, right? It goes against every single piece of financial advice you've ever heard. But why on earth would he say something like that?
And yeah, the hits just keep on coming. He's not just messing with our ideas about money. He's coming for the careers we've always thought of as safe bets. He's saying things like, white-collar jobs will disappear, and even, don't go to medical school. In fact, he predicts that in just 3 years, a robot will be a better surgeon than the best human on the planet. This isn't just a little course correction, it's a total upending of our world.
So, what in the world is driving all this chaos? What's the engine behind these wild predictions? It all boils down to one incredibly powerful concept that's at the very heart of Musk's prophecy, the singularity. It's called the singularity, and it's basically the ultimate tipping point. It's the moment that AI doesn't just get as smart as a human, but when it rockets past the combined intelligence of all humanity. From that point on, AI starts improving itself at a speed we literally can't even process, kicking off a technological explosion where we are no longer in the driver's seat. And get this isn't some distant sci-fi future. Look at Musk's timeline. He's predicting artificial general intelligence, or AGI, could be here as soon as 2026. And by 2030, just a few years later, AI will be smarter than every single person on Earth combined. It's the speed of this thing that is just so mind-boggling. And here's what's so crucial to get. Musk believes that even the experts, the people actually building this stuff, are completely underestimating what's coming. He says the really massive leap won't just come from feeding AI more and more data. No, the game changer is when the algorithms themselves get better. That could create a 10x, maybe even a 100x jump in capability. That's a kind of growth that almost nobody is ready for. Okay, so if the singularity completely rewrites all the rules, what does the world actually look like on the other side of it? A lot of people jump to a pretty dark place, but for Musk, this disruption leads to an age of incredible abundance, not scarcity. Now, we've all heard of universal basic income, right? UBI, the idea of giving everyone just enough to get by. But Musk's vision is way, way bigger. He talks about universal high income, or UHI. This isn't about survival. This is a future of true abundance, where everyone has access to serious wealth, not just a little safety net. So you're probably thinking, how is that even possible? Well, the logic is pretty straightforward. Once AI and robots can do pretty much all the work, physical and mental, the cost to produce goods and services just collapses, getting close to zero. When it costs nothing to make something, everything can be abundant. But, and this is a really important but, the road to this paradise is not going to be smooth. Musk warns that we're looking at a very turbulent transition period that could last anywhere from 3 to 7 years. It's going to be a time of huge social and economic disruption as the old world crumbles to make way for the new one. This is the chaos that comes before the calm. It all sounds incredible, almost inevitable. But Musk, being the engineer that he is, sees a massive physical roadblock standing in the way of this future. The software might be ready to go, but the actual hardware of our world, not even close. And this brings us right back down to earth. The problem isn't a lack of code. The real bottlenecks are physical, nuts and bolts things. We're talking about generating enough electricity to power this new intelligence, having enough transformers to move that power around, and building sophisticated cooling systems to keep the whole thing from overheating. This quote really just nails the problem. For the last couple of years, the whole world has been obsessed with a chip shortage. Musk is saying that's yesterday's problem. The bottleneck is shifting. Pretty soon, we're going to have all the computer brains we could ever want, but we won't have enough raw power to actually switch them on. So what we have here is a vision of the future and a crystal clear set of massive problems we have to solve to get there. And as you know, huge problems that require trillions of dollars to fix, well, they also create some of the biggest investment opportunities imaginable. This is the key takeaway, really. These bottlenecks aren't just problems. They're basically a roadmap for the future. To unlock that age of universal high income, the world has no choice but to solve these physical problems. And that means a tidal wave of money is going to flow into these exact sectors, making them the absolute foundation of the next economy. And make no mistake, this race has already started. And it's not just a corporate battle, it's a geopolitical one. Why? Because the nation that can supply the energy to power this AI revolution will have an unbelievable strategic advantage. As you can see, countries are already fighting for that top spot. And right now, China is on track to build out an electrical grid with 3 times the capacity of the US. Which brings us to the final and maybe most important question. If Musk's timeline is even close to being right, and if a crazy, turbulent few years are followed by an age of universal high income, what does that mean for us right now? It really suggests that the traditional window to build wealth, working hard, saving up, might be slamming shut much, much faster than any of us realize. What do you think?